video game I'm going to do for my video game review is Little Big Planet. So overview of what I'm going to talk about: the game description, how to play the game, connections to the curriculum, and connections to Gee's learning principles. What is Little Big Planet? Little Big Planet is a video game developed by Sony. You can only play it on PlayStation. It doesn't work on any other gaming system. It's not developed for any other gaming system. So the player, you, play as Sock Boy or Sock Person. Sock Boy is this guy in front, right here. He's completely customizable. You can change him in any way. It's really neat. And the storyline or plot of the game starts off as what I think is a twist on Greek mythology of the Titans. When I first heard of it, I instantly thought of Cronius, who overthrew his father Uranus, and later ate his first 5 children so that he could keep the power. He could keep power and stay in charge of the world until Zeus, who was hidden and later overthrew his father Cronius. It's loosely tied on that. It's not exact. It's not that violent and vicious as the Greek mythology is, but I still see that connection instantly. The storyline is really a Sack Boy who you're introduced to at the beginning, and you instantly meet Newton. Newton is a light bulb. He's kind of like the bad guy. He convinces you to break into an old lady's house so that you can find the jar in which the Titans are contained. Since they've broken out before and sucked all the creativity out of all the inspiration from the planet. So Newton wants to break into this house so he can free the Titans. And at the end of this house, end of beating this house, you meet the owner of the house, and she essentially tells you that what Newton's doing is wrong, and Newton wants to do this for his own benefit, not for anybody else. So he's the bad guy. So you work through each series of the game to unlock the 3 other characters. Swoop, who's the bird. Toggle, who's the big and little guy. You can switch depending on what you need him to be. And Oddsock, who's kind of like a little dog. It's a series of puzzles, and as you complete these puzzles, there's a boss at the end. But each level, it has like 3 sub-levels. You have to beat each portion of the level, and then you eventually meet the boss. Beat the boss. And as you're going, you collect these bubbles that are essentially like stamps and stickers for along the way, and you can stamp and sticker and customize the game however you want. And then the game motto is play, create, share. So play the game, create your own spaces, your own levels, your own customizations, and share them in an online space. So what does gameplay look like? This is the official trailer, and I think it quite closely resembles what gameplay looks like. I really like this game, and it's at like my gaming level. I'm not a good video gamer by any means. I suck at video games where you have to move the way you're viewing so that you can go in different angles, and you have to use both um, toggles on the controller. I can't do them. This one is easy, straightforward. You use one and you have to use the series of buttons as well, but like it's my speed. It's not complicated at all, which I love. So how does the game connect to the curriculum? The first connection I noticed was the ELA 8 mythology, not an outcome or anything, but it connects in the sense that the Saskatchewan curriculum refers to a unit entitled Timeless Narratives of First Nations and Greek Peoples, which ties to the comprehend and respond outcomes of their curriculum. So if we flip over and look at the curriculum, I'm not sure if you can still see this, there's 8 outcomes in the comprehend and respond section. And it's things like view, listen, read, comprehend, and respond to a variety of texts that address identity, social responsibility, and efficacy. Select and use appropriate strategies to construct meaning before, during, and after viewing, listening, and reading. So it's trying to get students to work in a way that they understand what is going on in the text before they start reading it, while they're reading it, after they learn it. So this unit uses Greek mythology and First Nation narratives to reach those outcomes. The next connection I made was the grade 8 social studies PA 8.2, which is exactly as written here. Examine the role of power and authority in the application of diverse decision-making processes in a variety of ways. And I took this as Newton. So Newton being the bad guy, he's the role of power and authority, trying to get you to make those bad decisions. And it's in a different context because you're online and you're making these. Not even online. You're in a video game space. You're not in the real world. So then what your decision is isn't going to directly impact you yourself. It will impact your character, but that's part of the learning curve. And then how it connects to these learning principles. It connects to a lot of these learning principles, and the ones I picked to explicitly mention are identity, interaction, risk-taking, customization, agency, well-ordered problems, challenge, and consolidation, just in time and on demand, situated meaning, pleasantly frustrating, and performance before competence. I'm only going to directly look at 6, and the rest will just be there. Identity. Definition according to E, to make a commitment to see and value work in the world. So you become the character. You feel like you are the character. So therefore, these decisions are impacting you, and you're learning a new skill set and way to think. So how students are learning through gameplay. Through gameplay, students learn about identity due to the character and their portrayal of what is good or what is bad. You're learning because you're putting yourself in the character. You get to become the character. This learning is significant because it helps students see themselves as others would see them, as well as how others view the world. Risk-taking is the next one I'm going to talk about. The definition according to Yi is the process of having some experience that has risk, but because they're taken in a video game, you don't have consequences for the actions that you take. So students are learning that choices have repercussions. So if you, as the picture showing, if you burn down the blocks, you're not going to be able to jump from point A to point B. You're going to need to do something else to get there, right? But there's no real repercussions in the game because you just fall down and respawn and everything shows back up again and you get to retry. Or if that doesn't work, you just go till you run out of lives and you start the level over again, right? Which is no big deal. And as I've been saying, the significance of this learning is because of the location. So you're in the video game. The choices are made have little to no impact on the rest of your lives. So it doesn't really matter that you have to restart the level. But if in real life you burn down all your bridges, well, that's going to suck because then you can't get from point A to point B without that bridge. Customization is the next one I'm going to talk about. Definition is being able to modify the game to fit your needs. So students are learning through being able to make their own modifications. You can change the world, you can make your own level, you can change what you look like, you can change the difficulty of the game. There's almost no aspect of this game that you can't change. If you don't want to be online, don't go online. If you don't want to create your own stuff, don't create your own stuff. Like, it's whatever you want to do. This learning allows students to know that their ability doesn't hinder them from reaching their goal. So if you need to make modifications to the level of how hard it is, make those modifications and you can still finish the level. The game also has well-ordered problems, which is the ways in which the tasks build on one another to come to a new skill or conclusion. So through the game, as the game progresses, it teaches you a new skill that you need to master throughout the level to get to the boss. So in the picture, it shows that if you use the R1 button, you can grab onto the little sponges and pull them upwards. So this learning teaches that baby steps are important. So you need to learn these little skills to keep going and be completely successful. If you want to 100% the level, you need to become good at these skills. Challenge and consolidation. So this is offering a challenge and practicing that challenge until it becomes habit when the game throws in a twist. So you're learning you're learning through repetition, and then you're forced to critically think about how to modify the behavior that you're doing. So in the instance of like the R1, how to use the R1 button to do slightly different things. You still grab onto the same sponge-looking things, but you might push it instead of pull it. So then once you figure out how to modify that behavior, you can pass the extra challenge that's being thrown at you. So in this case, the boss. The significance of this learning is it teaches students to value the value of doing things over and over. That practice makes perfect, but also that being flexible is important to your future. So in the picture up here at the top, this is one of the bosses, and he throws hot coals at you, and you have to jump and then use your blow dryer, essentially is what it is, and blow these gears, which then blow the coals away from you. And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening. I really enjoy this game, and I think it's a great learning for kids, especially around that grade 8 age. And yeah, really good video game. Thanks. Bye.